the Flamingo missile struck Russia. The Kremlin is screaming that this is a catastrophe. Ukraine has stepped up and unleashed a mega weapon. It's more powerful than the American Tomahawk and is already tearing Russia apart. The first results are impressive. Hell on enemy territory is just beginning. What other explosive surprises have our forces prepared for the occupiers? You need to be the first to hear.
That's right. Ukrainian drones are attacking Russian oil depots, military facilities, and ammunition warehouses. The armed forces of Ukraine are striking targets deep behind enemy lines. It's clear that the Ukrainian defense industry is being reborn and transforming. Manufacturers are working on creating powerful long-range weapons. And it's not just about drones, but also about missiles capable of covering hundreds of kilometers.
Ukraine has begun to develop what is known as a long arm, which allows it to keep key military industrial facilities and critical military infrastructure on enemy territory under control.
A brilliant solution is the Ukrainian cruise missile Long Neptune, which can fly 1,000 kilometers. It has successfully passed both testing and combat use. President Zelensky announced this back in March.
There were indeed reports concerning the extensive use of Ukrainian-developed missiles, specifically the Long Neptune system. One could confidently state that we are quite satisfied with the overall results achieved from these recent strikes.
The exact technical specifications of the Long Neptune are unknown, but military analysts insist that the missile is already destroying important targets on Russian territory.
Oh my gosh, terrible.
The Long Neptune already has a competitor, a domestically produced missile called Flamingo. On Sunday, a photo of this weapon appeared online, and the next day, one of the Ukrainian publications even released a video of test and combat launches of the Flamingo. However, whether the footage actually shows a Ukrainian missile has neither been confirmed nor denied by Dnipropetrovsk.
This is a sophisticated missile that was not originally developed in Ukraine, but it was meticulously created by talented people of Ukrainian descent. Subsequently, it was put into serial production by a prominent Ukrainian company.
The fact that the Flamingo is being produced was also confirmed by Ukraine's Minister of Defense, Denis Shmyhal.
This is a powerful weapon, long range, very powerful, and it exists. These are the key details. As for everything else, we will find out when the right time comes.
Media reports say that the new Ukrainian missile has a range of about 3,000 kilometers, a warhead weighing around 1 ton, and can reach speeds of up to 950 kilometers per hour. It is resistant to Russian electronic warfare systems. Thanks to these characteristics, the Flamingo can strike strategic targets deep behind enemy lines.
This means covering all important facilities on the territory of the Russian Federation. This is what prevents us from defeating the Russian Federation. This includes the production of Shaheds. This also includes the production of cruise missiles, starting from, say, the Ka-59, plus practically all, of the ground depots that are located in this area.
I don't know if it will have a range of 3,000 kilometers, but even if it's 2,000 kilometers, even if it's not 1,000 or 1,120 kilograms of explosives, but 500 kilograms of explosives, that would be great if it's at least 50 missiles per month.
As aviation experts note, the Ukrainian Flamingo is even more powerful than the American Tomahawk.
Right now, we are looking for solutions to significantly impact the capabilities of the Russian Federation. So we are forced to create such a mega weapon, because in reality, it fulfills a lot of tasks here.
This missile launches directly from the ground. It has a dual starter system. First, a solid fuel engine ignites and propels it so it doesn't use up its own fuel. And then, at the required altitude, it switches to the main engine and performs its functions properly.
As reported by Defense Express, along with its advantages, the Flamingo also has its drawbacks. It is quite large in size. Another potentially problematic aspect is the engine. Analysts suggest that the Flamingo requires an engine similar to those used in business jets. Mikhailo Manuk, Oleg Novikovsky, Podrobici, Inter-TV channel, United News Marathon.
Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now.
They slip into the tiniest cracks and hit the occupiers with all their might. These FPV drones in the Kupiansk region have become a real nightmare for the enemy. Putin's mercenaries are starting to hallucinate. They see our birds everywhere. Ukrainian defenders are happy to keep trying and continue to bring the enemy to their knees. Epic footage of our work has been shared online. Watch it right now. To the tune of Chervona Kalina, the FPV drone is being prepared for flight.
There are many different and distinct melodies for various different types of drones, each with its own unique sound, whichever you like.
A precise strike on target means weeks of training, hundreds of hours in simulators and real flights. Accuracy takes effort.
When the enemy tries to advance or, attempt some kind of movement, our drones quickly take them out. So the effectiveness of drones is much better now than it was last year or the year before.
The task is to find, strike, and remain unnoticed. FPVs allow us to hit the enemy precisely, with minimal risk to our own people.
You can fly into places that you simply couldn't even get close to on foot. You won't be there. Maybe the connection is bad, for example, or the same video feed from the same control, if there are no interruptions anywhere in the cable or in the optics itself.
Here, pilots even fly using fiber optics. This is a special type of drone that is controlled via a thin fiber optic cable connecting the drone to the operator.
So we mostly flew in for reconnaissance and checked inside the hangar to see if they were hiding there, flew through the rooms, and then flew out. Well, that's the kind of maneuver.
Along with the FPV, they also launch the matrix into the sky so that the strike drone maintains its connection.
My task is simply to lift it up and keep it hovering in one spot, turning it in the direction the FPV is flying, right, left, just to make sure everything is synchronized. The FPV pilot tells me which way to turn, so I turn as needed.
Here in the Kupiansk direction, there are forests and the enemy rarely uses their equipment. More often, they send soldiers, cannon fodder.
So far, we haven't seen any heavy equipment coming our way, only infantry. Well, the infantry gets taken out right away, as they say. They move around in pairs or groups of 3.
The fighter with the call sign Chaika transferred to the Orion unit 6 days ago. He hasn't been in combat with the new crew yet.
What makes FPV difficult for you?
Well, before this, I had never flown at all, but if I compare it to the Mavic, with the Mavic, you take off and it holds itself steady and corrects itself, but with FPV, you constantly have to, keep your hands on the sticks and control it yourself all the time.
He did serve, but not in a combat position. Now, on someone's recommendation, he joined Orion.
And I transferred here, deliberately, because I have a friend here. I served with him in Odessa, and he recommended it to me.
His comrade Mer also joined the military on a recommendation he saw on TikTok.
I was 19 years old, and that's when I decided to become a border guard. Well, how did I decide? I really wanted to fight, but the armed forces didn't take me, and then I got this opportunity. I saw on TikTok, I was scrolling through my feed, and saw that the border guards were recruiting, so I decided to go and sign a 3-year contract.
Everyone who is motivated is invited to join the Orion unit of the State Border Guard Service. Reporting from Kharkiv region, Tetiana Demuk and Danilo Horodetsky. We are Ukraine Marathon, United News.
Putin's mercenaries tried to break through into the Dnipropetrovsk region, but Ukrainian forces repelled the attack. Heavy fighting continues in the Pokrovsk area, where the armed forces of Ukraine are actively destroying the enemy and employing new tactical solutions. An entire unit of occupiers has been eliminated in the Kursk region. The front line is gradually becoming increasingly unstable, and the enemy's summer offensive campaign is losing momentum. Despite this, the Kremlin stubbornly tries to hold its positions. More on all of this ahead.
This is a video from the 225th Assault Battalion of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. They are clearing the settlement of Vorony in the Dnipropetrovsk region. With the help of a Bradley, Ukrainian soldiers managed to stop the occupiers' breakthrough in this direction. Unfortunately, such actions by the armed forces of Ukraine are not always successful. According to the Deep State resource, the Russians have managed for the first time to occupy 2 villages in the Dnipropetrovsk region. These are Zaporizhzhia and Nova Georgiivka. In recent months, Putin's invaders have been using the tactic of infiltration by small groups along almost the entire front line. This tactic yields only very minor successes.
This is infiltration, small infantry groups, 2 or 3 people at a time. But there are a lot of these groups. Their task is not so much to engage in battle and breakthrough, but rather to bypass our strongholds. Let's put it that way. Our resistance points, our posts and strong points, and so on, taking advantage of the fact that the front line is sparse, meaning there is no continuous line of defense. This isn't a breakthrough, it's more like infiltration, seeping through, leaking, and so on. This is the kind of tactic they will obviously continue to use. Why? Because unfortunately the shortage of infantry on our side is still a very real issue.
As before, the Pokrovsk direction remains the hottest spot. Every day, at least a quarter of all enemy attacks are concentrated on this direction. The Kremlin wants to capture the entire Donbas at any cost.
They want to reach the administrative borders of Donetsk region to get to the junction of three regions, Donetsk, Zaporizhzhia, and Dnipropetrovsk. When we talk about the southern Donetsk direction, they want to push beyond the borders of Dnipropetrovsk region in order to seize more territory and have a stronger position in negotiations.
Special attention was given to the Pokrovsk direction at the meeting with the President of Ukraine, which was also attended by the Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, Oleksandr Syrsky.
Our main focus right now is primarily on the Pokrovsk, Dobropilya, Novopavlivka and Kupiansk directions, as well as the Zaporizhzhia direction. During the meeting, they discussed the need for additional support for units in these and other important sectors of the front. We are seeing positive trends in the border areas of Sumy and Kharkiv regions. Here, the decisive factor is the active operations of the 225th Assault Regiment of the 71st Jaeger Brigade and units of the Special Operations Forces.
In the Kursk direction, a series of strikes by Ukrainian aviation managed to destroy an entire unit. The air bombs destroyed the unit's headquarters and command post, the personnel base, the electronic warfare communications team, and the Manpad's crew. In this direction, the Russian army has also achieved no success. Most of the objectives that the Kremlin set for the campaign from April to August 2022 turned out to be unachievable. In fact, Russia's summer offensive failed, and there is a certain fatigue observed among Russians. This is reported by the publication Bild. Overall, over the summer, Russia captured only 1,800 square kilometers. This is about 0.3% of Ukrainian territory.
In the Donetsk region, Russian troops unsuccessfully tried to take Pokrovsk. Despite breaking through to the city center in August, within 3 weeks all Russian units were either destroyed or captured. In the northern direction, Vladimir Putin's plans to create a security belt in the Chernihiv, Sumy and Kharkiv regions also failed. Less than 70 kilometers of territory along the border ended up under Russian control. In the south, in the Kherson and Zaporizhzhia regions, the front remained stable, and the Kremlin was effectively forced to abandon its offensive plans.
At present, the situation on the front is stable, and President Volodymyr Zelensky is ready to discuss a ceasefire, but not a capitulation, as Putin demands.